Hello YouTube, this is Morgan Airspeed Prime here with my next Avatar news update video. So let's jump straight into it here. First of all, a reminder about the next upcoming Avatar comic release, which is, it's a reprint, but one that I think is going to be of interest to people. It is the Team Avatar Treasury Library Edition hardcover, and this is out, like I said, next week, Tuesday/Wednesday, the 29th and the 30th. It's going to be out most places on the Tuesday, and you just have to wait for Wednesday if you're getting it from your local comic book store. But yeah, what this is, it is the hardcover collection for Katara and the Pirate Silver, Toph Beifong's Metalbending Academy, and Suki alone. Of course, we have previously had a collected edition of this, not hardcover, but the box set thing they did with the poster. Now we know they're doing hardcover library editions here. So this one's actually going to have some extras, including exclusive commentary. And even though I don't think it's confirmed anywhere, I think we are expecting some concept art stuff at the back, but we'll have to wait and see what the situation is with that. But this book also, I guess, confirms the next three one-shots, so Azula in the Spirit Temple, Bounty Hunter and the Tea Brewer, and the recently announced Ashes of the Academy, they're probably going to be collected into a library edition at some point in the future as well. So if they do announce one of those box set collections, just be aware you can probably skip it because they're actually doing library editions for these now. I do plan to get this hopefully on Wednesday or at some point next week. I will have this and I'll be able to talk about it and see how much they do with the annotations and if there's anything interesting to add about that. But yeah, next week we do have a new release. Next, brand new piece of merchandise announced. So Diamond Select Toys, the Gallery Diorama line lives. So this is the first announcement in a pretty long time. The last figure in this line was the Iroh. So currently they've done Aang, Katara, Zuko, Toph, Iroh. Now Sokka, so the first non-bender in the line, a character we've been waiting for a while. He is finally coming out. So Sokka Gallery Diorama from Diamond Select Toys. The estimated arrival, or I guess delivery date, is going to be Q3 2025. They're saying July, August, or September. Merchandise tends to be quite flexible with when it will actually release, so it might be a little bit later than that. We just don't really know. So I'm a big fan of this line. I think it's probably one of the best done figure lines in the Avatar franchise. I think they have a nice price point while also having dynamic posing, nice details, and sort of fancy bases. Like, it feels like they try to do a lot for a pretty solid price point, and I think that makes it stand out to me more than a lot of the other lines that we've seen in the past. So let's take a look at this. Of course, another bonus here is that Diamond Select have been doing the end of series designs. That is a major bonus for me. I'm often frustrated when a lot of the other companies just they get the Avatar license and it's book one everything, whereas I think a lot of us who have been in the fandom for a long time are kind of like, yeah, give us the end of series designs. Why jump all the way back to the start when we're in 2024? Do the end of series stuff. And it's super cool to see a piece of merch of Sokka in his kind of wolf armor from towards the end of the series, where like you can see he has the space sword on his back, but the pose is actually primarily him throwing his boomerang here, which is kind of nice. So you can see it in some of the other kind of images like here. The effect of the kind of boomerang kind of whizzing through the air is kind of nice, and that's how they're doing effects for a non-bender character. Same goes for the base, as you can see here. It's actually a very cool thing where the bottom of the base is kind of water, but then you have the ice kind of sitting on the water and then snow on top of the ice, and that's what Sokka is standing on. And as we scroll through some of these other pictures, you can see like a lot of the other details, like for instance his foot here. They have some nice detailing here to get across the idea that, yeah, he's running through the snow. So, of course, there's some on his feet. So that's very cool. A lot of the detailing here with the boomerang kind of holder, the back of the space sword is kind of nice. The face on these is maybe one of the slight weaknesses of this line, is that they do tend to do their own sort of interpretation of the character, the sculptor's kind of like art style for the characters. I don't think it's bad. in that I think it's just not perfect is probably the way I'd put it. And like I said, a lot of the other factors in Diamond Select's favor to me negate the face maybe not being absolutely perfect, but otherwise I think a lot of good stuff going on here with the detailing on Sokka. And yeah, the base looks very nice. So this is a figure I probably will pick this up when a pre-order on a European site goes up. I probably will try to grab this. I didn't get the Iroh, but I do have all of the others in the line, and my hope is that they maybe go on and do a Suki maybe coming up next. That would be really cool to finish off Team Avatar, though. If they are to do another character before maybe moving on to like Aang movie stuff, maybe they do Azula or someone like that first. So we'll have to wait and see what the situation is there. So yeah, interesting timing on this because it's going to release in like the months leading up to the Aang movie, and then I guess most of the merchandise lines after that will be focused on kind of tie-in stuff and Avatar Studios related stuff. But we'll move on. Next, just going back to this. So this was probably the main event from my last news video, and I just want to highlight it here again. The Bending Academy chapter book from Penguin Random House that's coming out July next year. A new line of kids' original novels for Avatar. You can see here, all new chapter book introduces a new group of kids attending a bending academy in the Earth Kingdom. And it seems to be part of a slate of books that Random House is doing, targeting sort of summer 2025. And the news here that's different than the previous video is just that if you open up the Edelweiss listing in full, you can see this image of a display. And if we open that up, you can see what the sort of plan here is for summer 2025 is that they're going to have potentially some stores will have the opportunity to get these displays for the Random House Avatar book. So that includes all the I Am books, but also you can see here there are 2 slots for Bending Academy chapter book 1 and also 2 slots for the upcoming How to Draw Avatar book that we don't really know the full details on just yet. So that's kind of exciting. They're really pushing Avatar for like the kids kind of reading kind of our audience here. You can see Master the 4 Elements and Conquer reading. So that's kind of nice to see that they're trying to get kids into Avatar at the same time as I guess the animation is putting out new content for already established fans. But they're now doing original content that also has an appeal to older fans as well. So fun stuff. It's a little bit frustrating there's no Korra involved here, and it's still very Avatar The Last Airbender focused. You do wonder, are Penguin Random House going to be able to kind of quickly shift to being more focused on the Avatar Studios stuff? But this is where I think whenever we get the details and the covers, and especially the graphic design stuff for the Bending Academy book, I'm very interested to see what the titling specifically is like, because it's using Avatar Legends. Does that for sure mean that like it's going to be set in the Aang era? Because Legends I typically associate as being multi-era. Maybe it just means we're doing the kind of the Aang era but post-series. That's probably where it's going to be set, which is just interesting by itself. So yeah, hopefully over the coming months we get covers for all these books and can get a better sense for what's actually going on. But we'll move on. An update on the Journey of Aang board game crowdfunding campaign. So they're at over 300% funded here. They've just hit over 150,000, and you can see here they have over 1,500 backers, still with 17 days to go. And I guess the rush towards the end once people see how much stretch goal stuff there actually is. So to quickly go over a lot of that stuff, where are we at when it comes to stretch goals? We have the Harmony cards with foil for the deluxe set. We have the new challenge cards that just unlocked on day 2. We're over 140,000, so we get the travel postcards, which they do detail here. So you can see they showed them all off in one of their posts. So it is Omashu, Agna Kel-A, Ember Island, and the Western Air Temple. So a nice set of 4 completely extra bonus kind of art things as part of your package. I think it's a nice little bonus thing. And because it seems like they probably are going to adjust some of the stretch goals coming towards the end, just to make sure we get a lot of stuff, I'm not super worried that we'll be maybe stuck with this when maybe we wanted more cards, that sort of thing. So yeah, that's that. In terms of the next stretch goals, we of course have new companions at 170,000. They're going to add Zuko, Yang Chen, Paku, and the Canyon Guide as characters, with the idea being that they seem to have changed their mind when it comes to the idea of sort of the characters who redeemed themselves over the course of the story, who maybe have a challenge card, they're enemies in the game. So with Zuko, it makes complete sense that you add him to the game. Makes a lot of sense. Yeah, you have to be able to play as Zuko. That makes a lot of sense. Paku and Yang Chen are interesting because they are listed in the rulebook as being part of the 16 that are part of the core set. And there's some confusion about what characters are in and out and part of stretch goals, or which are part of the non-bender sets. And we'll talk about that overall. I asked them for clarity on this in the comments, and they seem to agree with the idea that, yeah, they need to be clearer about it, and have now made an effort to be clearer about that. But we'll go through this first. 200,000 stretch goal is going to be alternative companion art for at least Zhang and 3 other companion cards. My guess is that the aim here is to try and limit the amount of character cards, companion cards that are using screenshots from the show as art. So like Zhang, I'm pretty sure his card, I think I have that card, is a screenshot from the show. So it being upgraded to better art is a massive improvement, and if they can do that for some of the other characters, I think that's pretty good as well. It's probably one of those things where, like, yes, if you could get new art, it would be nice if all the companion cards had completely brand new art, just because they're quite notable, but this is nice to add some of the extras in. And then 225,000 stretch goal, more non-bender companions. And they're saying that we're going to unlock Suki, the Cabbage Merchant, and 2 more characters who will be voted on. Now, this is slightly controversial, or at least awkward when it comes to their communication, because if we look at the non-bender expansion, it says Sokka, Piandao, Momo, Teo, which, if you haven't looked at all the details, like the rulebook, seems fine. That, like, yeah, they're all non-benders. It's a little weird you're putting Teo into that group ahead of Suki, but Teo is a non-bender. But then you open up, the rulebook here, and you'll note airbenders for companions: Appa, Teo, Monkey Atso, and Yang Chen. So straight away it's like, wait, we're doing a stretch goal to unlock Yang Chen, but apparently she's already in the game? We're, like, Teo is part of the non-bender set, but apparently he's an airbender in the core game. What's going on here? What's changed? Why have you, like, messed this around without informing us, like, what exactly is going on? And then in the comments, of course, they've been sort of clear about, like, yeah, Suki is involved. Like, Teo is a mistake. Suki's part of that set. But now Suki's a stretch goal. So all of a sudden there's one non-bender character missing from the non-bender expansion, because apparently Teo is in, or at the very least he's not a non-bender. So who's the 4th character here? That's slightly confusing. And then that obviously creates a bit of a situation over here with the non-bender companions, where I think the expectation is that Suki should be part of the main set because she's a Team Avatar member. So the Cabbage Merchant and potentially 3 other non-bender characters now here. And then who are you going to allow us to vote on here? Because I think most people, if Suki is in, and we address the whole Teo situation, and there are 3 others, it feels like probably Jet, Mei, and Ty Lee are the most obvious characters to do. Given the logic for Zuko, it makes a lot of sense to have other characters who quote-unquote redeem themselves by switching sides, Ty Lee and Mei, to also be included as part of this as well. Otherwise, like, maybe like the Earth King potentially might be an option to do here, Hakoda perhaps. But people want the main characters, and they need to be clear about that, and to not be overly stingy when it comes to canon, when it's a game that already, while it tries to tell the story of the game, you know, it switches up each time. It's never going to be perfectly canon the way you kind of do the story, that whole idea. Because again, you can defeat the Fire Lord before the comet ever even comes as part of the gameplay. So, you know, there's no need to stick too closely to that. If we want to play as Mei, let us play as Mei. That's kind of my thoughts on the situation there. So, they have, in this post here, they've started kind of to a certain degree in response to myself and a few other people asking what's the deal with the character lineups, they seem to be going over what the companion cards actually are for clarity. So in this first of 4 posts, they highlight Katara, for water. They go over her abilities both sides. Appa for air. Again, Aang is basically your player board as part of the game. Aang is just sort of built into the game effectively, so that's why he doesn't get like a card to himself. So that's why Appa is up front here, and why they have to use like Teo to fill up the airbender ranks. Toph for earthbending, of course, and Iroh for firebending. Now, to a certain degree, maybe that should be switched to Zuko, but I get it in the sense that it's specifically like Book 3 Zuko at the end. Maybe they're presenting him as a little bit more of an advanced character rather than like the main fire character you should play as. But, you know, we'll see how it ends up playing out. And that's that. So right now, there's still a lot of the questions up in the air because they haven't addressed the situation when it comes to, Yang Chen is included here. Paku is included here, yet they are stretch goal characters, and then the whole Suki situation, the whole Teo situation, it's a little bit awkward, and they definitely should be much clearer about that, because the characters are ultimately the thing that people care about probably the most in Avatar. So I'm going to wrap it up there, and we'll cover any other news in future videos. But yeah, your thoughts on this. Are you going to be picking up the Team Avatar Treasury Library Edition next week? Thoughts on the Sokka Diamond Select Toys Gallery Diorama figure being announced here? Any thoughts on, you know, Random House's plan here? Any further thoughts on the Bending Academy kind of kids book stuff coming out? And of course, your thoughts on how the Kickstarter for this game is going, or the crowdfunding is going for this game. But yeah, that's been the video. Thanks for watching, and bye.